welcome to Tang Productions. Today I've got a video for you, giving you 2 exercises. That's all you need for functional, healthy well-being, and you'll be amazed by doing that daily, the results you'll get. Definition of stretch and mobility. Stretch is when you hold the muscle or a joint in one position for a long period of time without movement. Mobility is doing the same, but you're constantly moving. You're shortening and lengthening the muscles or increasing the range of the joint. I'm doing that. That's a stretch. Let's say I'm holding on to something, stretch, and this is mobility. Or typically there's a stretch where you hold in one position. That's a stretch. Mobility, using the same movement, is this. So if you're warming up before workout, you really ought to do mobility rather than passive stretch. Go down further, this will be your ideal range here. This way you'll end up stretching your ankles, your knees, your hips and your lower back. Now I'll give you a side view. So from here, go down. So you see that stretch all along the lower back here, and the hips, and the knees, and the ankles. Now it doesn't matter if you can't get to this range. So this is a position you ought to hold for about 2 minutes. So if you can only manage going half the range, that's fine. Always work relative to your own ability. So there aren't any exercise that's bad exercise. It's only bad if you can't cope with the load, the speed and the range. So you always work relatively to your own ability. I can't stress that more than enough. To support, to get your range, so that if you're comfortable to getting there without struggling or shaking, this is a range you should work at. So here's a passive stretch, you just hold there. If you need to support your body weight, you can lean forward so you can get some range on the stretching on the knees. Then if you can go further a little bit, stand up again. Okay, and then move the legs around. So move the legs around and then go down a little bit more and gently move it around. And then go down a bit more. So if you find it quite strenuous holding this position, just hold it for a second and then come back up and then move the legs around. Once the legs are warmed up, you could go, so from here, try to go all the way down. Oh, nice. So actually I really feel it here, right on my quads, around my knees. The ankles not so much, I've got quite good flexibility on my ankle joint, but I feel it on the lower back. So I'll just hold this stretch here for about 2 minutes. And then you'll find about 30 seconds, your muscles start to relax. You'll feel that protective mode it goes into, they'll start to relax. When one muscle relaxes, then another one relaxes, another one relaxes, then you're able to increase your range automatically. Again, focus on your breathing, so be mindful about your technique. Feel your toes, feel your ankles, feel the back and the knee, and then gently rock. So this is not about hard external exercise. This is about internalizing. what I call the yin training method, the yin days. The yang days is when you do the really hard, exertive, high power exercises. This is the opposite approach. So it's important to have the two. So again, you can rock gently. Okay? If you want to, you can support your body weight so you don't stress your hip joints and your lower back too much. So you can just rock forward and back. I'll give you a front view. So from here, go down there and just rock. Notice my heels of the feet is raised up. And from this position you can then transition to other positions. So notice my feet are pointed that way. You can also rotate it in. So it's pointing in. This way it will stretch different parts of the leg muscles. So again, just gently rock. Now you don't all have to do this exercise. Not all of you will be flexible enough. If you are, fantastic. And then you go with the flow. If not, less intensity, don't go down as low as this, okay? So here what you can transist into, so from here, you could drop the knees on the floor, okay? And then back up, and again, and then hip thrust, there, and then back. And back. So I'll give you a side view from here. Rock gently. So you actually feel your toes and all the toes, and support your body weight with your hands so you don't put too much pressure on your knees or your hips and your toes. From this position here, lift up and stretch the flexors and your frontal chain muscles, and then back. So notice my feet, toes pointing that way, easy, don't overstress it. Come back, roll back again. Okay, so from this squat position, we can also raise the arm up, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Hands placed, one arm placed on the ground, lift this arm up, and down, and up, hold, stretch, focus, easy breathing, don't hold your breath, if you can't get up to this far, that's fine. If you're here, that's okay, just work within your range, and then rotate your arm. Breathe in. And rotate. So that'll give you a nice stretch around the trunk area. Also do rotation of the hip joint. Rotate and rotate and rotate. Okay. And then back up. And then gently. Side view and shake. Okay, so move around, because when you start squatting down, you'll feel a lot of tension around the back of the knee joint. So you need to flush out the fluid around the knee joint. So what really happens when you start stretching? We know muscles adapt very quickly. Tendons takes longer to adapt, and ligaments takes even longer, between 6 months to 2 years. So hence Muscles can adapt, so muscles can strengthen or stretch and respond very quickly, whereas tendons take a lot longer time, and ligaments even more so. So that's why when you stretch and sometimes you feel like you're not getting anywhere, it just takes a long time for the tendon to adapt, to lengthen and remain in that length. Now we're moving on to the dead hang. Dead hang is great, especially when you have shoulder injuries, or you're always getting tight neck muscles, and or if you have low back problems. Shoulder joint is the most mobile joint, and it's quite unstable as a result. So therefore it requires a lot of strength, and if you don't have strength in the shoulder muscles, or you have imbalance of strength, then shoulder injuries, tight necks often happens. And dead hang is a great way of releasing any muscle spasms. Or if you have shoulder injuries, some muscles are going into protective mode. Let's say, for example, the back muscles here usually are quite weak, the rotator cuff muscles. They start to contract and shorten, and then you end up having the shoulder joint go into the socket, and it catches in the socket, and you get the nerve impingement. Dead hang is a great way of releasing that. Dead hang, grab onto this. Now, my legs, you can't see it, but it's basically resting. I'm standing on the stairway. So I'm not using my body weight, because if you're not used to it, then you'll find the grip will let you down. Okay, so hold on to here like this, grasp on the bar. So basically I've put a bar here across my landing. You could do anything, hang off the tree, the doorway, etc, etc. Use your imagination. Here we have, from here, I'm gently lower my body, gripping onto the pole, and just gradually relax. Deep breath in, and then relax. It's when you breathe out, you stimulate the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a parasympathetic nervous system. When that's engaged, then you go into a relaxed mode, rather than fight or flight mode. So here we have, I can sense my muscles start to ease off now. Then I could take less weight off my foot and gradually let my body weight do the work. And if you start to get pins and needles, if you're not used to hanging for that length of time, just come back, relax, shake, and gently move your shoulders around, and you do it again. So from here, ideally if you can hang for a minute, or even better 2 minutes, but it's very difficult to dead hang for over a minute for most people, including me. So here we have, just relax, let the weight stretch. Feel the stretch is nice around my upper back, my posterior chain muscles, and breathe and relax. And then come back and